So just after the B-2 bombers got back into American airspace, returning from a almost 40-hour mission there and back to Iran, dropping bombs on 3 nuclear sites, President Trump held a press conference. And this was our time late Saturday. This is what Trump said.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Okay, so that was the comment. Now, what did he say in here? He said, look, strikes were a spectacular military success. Nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Okay, I can't tell you one way or another if that's true. I can't. I don't know. I'll say this. Pretty much every person who is reporting one way or the other way seems to be ideologically motivated. I'll give you a case in point. I saw some guy say, well, okay, I finally looked at that. He looked like he had some credentials, right? So he goes, oh, I've looked at the, finally looked at the imagery. I could tell you categorically the facilities are A-okay. And it's an American guy, right? So, and then, so I'm reading the post and he starts complaining about the Zionists, about the Jews and all this stuff. And you go, I see what I'm dealing with here. I don't think Trump could know definitively on Saturday, and I still think maybe Trump doesn't know for sure whether or not the attacks caused the extent of damage hoped by the planners, if assuming that the hope was that these attacks completely obliterate these facilities, which I think I have to assume that was the intent. So we have to wait and see is my point. Now, here's what I don't believe. I cannot imagine a world where even before a week and a half ago, because remember the Israelis launched their attack on Iran a week ago Thursday. I can't imagine that with Israel having pretty much full air superiority over Iranian airspace and, let's say operatives on the ground to the extent that they had drones waiting idly, prepared, hidden, for deployment in the midst of that first surprise attack Thursday to Friday. I cannot imagine that the intel on the ground about what was going on wasn't good. So I read a report somewhere, oh, you see this line of trucks. These are all the trucks leaving the facility with the nuclear goods. These are the 60% enriched uranium. There go the trucks. They're just leaving. They're leaving Fordow. They're leaving Natanz. Look, they're making their clean getaway. And I'm looking at that. And I'm going, wait. So Israel literally has command and control basically of Iranian airspace. And they missed a convoy of trucks laden with nuclear material just sort of sauntering out of one of the 8 or let's say 10 sites that are primary points of interest for the IDF and for the Mossad and for the CIA. Yeah, I don't think so. That's the kind of stuff that doesn't pass muster.